Today's walk is to ascend Win Hill, steeply up and a long way down. A small hill with great views. Welcome to the Gritstoneedge Walking Podcast. Win Hill dominates the central Hope Valley. It can be seen from all around, from Derwent Edges, from Stanage, from Kinder, from Shatton Moor, and also from the villages of the Hope Valley, including Hope itself. Today's route starts around Yorkshire Bridge, with a short, steep climb directly to the summit. Then there's a pleasant walk along the ridge of Hope Brink to Hope Cross. Then it's a descent through the trees to Ladybower Reservoir and back to the start along the shores of the reservoir. The walk does not need perfect weather to complete, best if it's not too windy, but good visibility is needed to get the best of the all-round views. I have done this walk many times and find the walk back along Ladybower a peaceful and relaxing walk. The start is from the Yorkshire Bridge pub. Parking can be found at Heatherdean Car Park, where payment is needed, or on the side of the road, which can be busy. Wherever you park, the first task is to walk across the dam. From here, turn left down the track to reach the bottom of Parkin Clough. This is the big climb of the day, and the route of Parkin Clough to Win Hill is steep. Follow the path alongside the stream, first through the woods where the path can be very muddy and slippery underfoot. A fence and stile is thankfully reached, and once over this, the path gets less steep and improves significantly. Soon you're out of the woods with the view opening out, and this path is followed to the top of the hill. If the steepness of Parkin Clough does not appeal, you can turn right from the dam and follow the two tracks that zigzag through the forest at a much better angle. The final part to the summit is a bit rocky. There is a trig point on the summit of Win Hill, but the true summit is on the higher rocks, which are about 10 metres away from the trig point. Here there is a fantastic view in all directions. North is the view to Bleaklow and the north arm of Ladybower Reservoir. East is over to Stanage Edge, south over to Shatton Moor, and west the great ridge of Mam Tor and Loose Hill. Here is arguably one of the best viewpoints in the whole of the Peak District, worth sitting a while and taking in the view, especially if you have chosen a less busy time for the walk. The route continues along the ridge, along to Hope Cross. There's a good path all the way, often used by mountain bikes as well as walkers. The walker can relax along this ridge and take in the views, especially those to the west. From the summit, descend through the rocks to reach the path below. Follow this gentle descent all the way to Wooler Knoll along the grassy ridge of Hope Brink, and then continue to Hope Cross, which marks the end of the ridge for our route. There is a forest on the right on the east of the path with a semi-derelict dry stone wall. I've often sat there, maybe for lunch, maybe coffee, and taken in the view of Loose Hill and the Edale Valley, watching the trains travelling between Manchester and Sheffield. Hope Cross is a stone marker post some 2 metres in height, marking the crossing of paths from Sheffield, Edale, Hope and Glossop, as marked on the top of the square block. From the gate, stile and wall complex at Hope Cross, the route goes east through the forest. Use the gate to get into the forest and follow the obvious path that descends through the trees. This path is maintained by the mountain bike community, and it is in a much better state than previously. Soon this path takes a sharp right and becomes thinner going through the forest. Keep to the path as it descends through the forest. The final section is often muddy just prior to meeting the good wide track around Ladybower Reservoir. This track around Ladybower Reservoir is followed southwest around the reservoir back to the dam. This is a pleasant walk around the reservoir, sometimes in the trees, sometimes with views over to Alport Rocks or over to Stanage. In some places the busy A57 Snake Road is visible, and sometimes the noise can disturb the peace around the reservoir. During recent years, the A57 has been closed off and on for various repairs due to some landslip damage, and walking along the reservoirs at these times is a much quieter experience. This is a relaxing end to the walk, time to think. Some people may like meditation. I feel I get the same experience walking along this path on a quiet day or a quiet time of the day. Sometimes I will listen to music, or indeed, as I have done many times, listen to the cricket, which is not always as relaxing. Towards the end of the track, it bends round south to reach the Ladybower Dam, and we cross the dam and back to the car. On my recent walk, I managed to pick a cooler day in the middle of a hot summer spell, which was good. Again, I avoided parking Clough, which is really steep and exhausting, the zigzag being a much better choice. It doesn't matter how many times I climb Win Hill and do this walk, I'm always impressed by the views all around. And as I said just before, the walk along the reservoir is my place for meditation. Thanks for listening to this Gritstone Edge walking podcast. This has been a great walk up Win Hill to capture the views. The walk back down Hope Brink, through the forest and back along the reservoir is a really magical experience. I hope this has inspired you to get out and onto the hills and moors of the Peak District. Details of this and many other walks are at the site gritstoneedge.co.uk. So until next time, bye and enjoy the outdoors.